A man falls ill with a bizarre disease that causes his skin to change into multiple colors and sends him into a deep, indefinite sleep. Concerned, his family rushes him to the hospital. Days pass, but the man remains unconscious, baffling the medical staff who can't figure out what he's suffering from. One afternoon, a head doctor enters the waiting room to speak with the anxious family. "Doctor, do you have any news on our son?" one of them asks hopefully. The doctor sighs and looks somberly toward the patient's room. "We're still trying to understand what's happening," she says. "But we do know one thing for sure." She pauses, glancing at the man lying still in bed, his skin a surreal mix of shifting hues. He's comatose. A high-powered city lawyer was representing a railroad company in a lawsuit filed by an old rancher. The rancher's prized bull had gone missing from a section of land where the railroad ran through, and all he wanted was fair compensation for the animal. The case was set to be heard in the back room of the local general store by the justice of the peace. Before the trial began, the railroad's attorney pulled the old rancher aside and tried to settle the matter out of court. Using all his legal charm and big city persuasion, the lawyer convinced the rancher to accept half the amount he was originally asking for. The rancher signed the release and took the check. Feeling smug, the young lawyer couldn't resist rubbing it in a little. "You know," he said with a smirk, "I have to admit, I pulled a fast one on you. Truth is, I didn't have a leg to stand on. The engineer was asleep and the fireman was in the caboose when the train passed through your property that morning. I didn't have a single witness. I completely bluffed my way through." The old rancher tipped his hat and grinned. "Well, I'll tell you something, son. I was a bit worried about that case myself." He paused, then added, "Because that bull came home this morning." A truck driver pulled into a roadside diner for lunch. He ordered a cheeseburger, a cup of coffee, and a slice of apple pie. Just as he was about to eat, 3 rough-looking bikers walked in. One of them grabbed the cheeseburger and took a big bite. The second picked up the coffee and drank it. The third snatched the pie and polished it off. The trucker stayed calm. He didn't say a word, just quietly paid his bill and walked out. The waitress came over to clear the table. One of the bikers scoffed. "He didn't even stand up for himself. Not much of a man, huh?" She looked out the window and smirked. "Not much of a driver either," she said. "He just backed his 18-wheeler over 3 motorcycles." A guy walks into a pet store looking for something different. The owner shows him a talking centipede in a little box. Impressed, the man buys it and takes it home. Later, he leans down and says, "Hey, want to go grab a drink?" No answer. He repeats, "Want to go out for a beer?" Still nothing. Frustrated, he yells, "Hey, I thought you could talk!" A tiny voice from the box replies, "I can talk! I heard you the first time. I'm putting on my shoes for crying out loud. Have you ever tried lacing up 100 of these things?"